Hello everyone, it is your fave, tarot.muva, and I am back with another pick a card for you guys. So essentially all I want you to do is relax, take a couple deep breaths, and use your intuition to pick either pile 1, 2, or 3. Either of these messages will provide some very great advice from your spirit guide, something that you need to hear right now. Again, these are general messages, so please only take what resonates. If it does not, leave it be. And also, if you hear something that does resonate and you're not too fond of what you hear, you can change everything. You can change your life however you see fit, so keep that in mind. This is just more so like warning signs, things to keep in mind, so that you are taking the best steps towards your higher self, towards your goals and aspirations and things like that. So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? Hello, pile number 1. Let's go ahead and get into your reading, okay? So the first card that we have is the Emperor. So with the Emperor, I'm feeling as though you are very much entrepreneur, or that is something that you're on your way to. Yeah, this is what you're working towards. And I also feel like you're very close. You're very close to getting to your destination. But I feel like in this moment, what you're needing to do... Okay, two different messages I'm getting with this card. First, you need to be mindful of staying balanced. And also, one of the most greatest traits of a leader is observing before you act. So with the Emperor, this is a lot of fire energy, specifically Aries, since you have the ram depicted in this card. And so I think that it's important to not be so impulsive, especially when it comes down to business decisions or things that you need or want to set in place. That it's just things that you want for stability. And it's like you've matured and evolved so much, and so now you're at this point where you really have to double check every single thing that you do, to make sure that first it's the best thing for you, second that it's actually going to bring longevity, it's not going to be something that's going to falter a few months in, especially if it's something that's related to business. But I do think that you're on the right path. And there's this little river behind the Emperor as well. So I'm feeling whatever comes, if there is an obstacle, don't allow your fear to keep you from getting through that obstacle. But also, if you do face an obstacle, think more logically about how to get around it, or what you need to do to get through it with ease. Because there's certain obstacles that our guides put into place because we probably don't need to go down that route. So it's important to listen to your intuition, but also know when to act. Like I said, with the leader, it's important to observe and then act, because you don't want to be exerting all of your energy on this thing that is perceived as an obstacle, when really it's your guides telling you that this is not it's either not the right time, or not the right opportunity, or not good enough for you and what you're trying to build for yourself. So I think definitely keep those things in mind when you are, just trying to go about your journey. And it may not be business per se, this could literally be anything. Love, how you treat yourself, what are you doing to create a better foundation within? Do you have enough structure within your life to get to where you need to go? And if so, great. If not, now is the perfect time to do a little bit more research and figure out what you need to do in order to get to where you need to go, in the most efficient way possible. Because again, this is like big boss type energy, you know, kingpin type energy. So it's like you need to be strategic about what you want. And I think the more you have a plan, the better things are going to kind of work out for you. And you don't have to figure out every single little detail about that plan, but at least enough to where you have a starting point, you know, a jumping off point. Okay, let's get these other cards in here too. So we have, yeah, 7 of Roses, Two of Scrolls, Two of Forces, and the 5 of Scrolls. So let's start with the Willow and work our way over. So again, like I said, you know, because there's like a river in the back of this Emperor card. And again, your guides really want you to just kind of go with the flow. And then there's like this bird up here too. So again, observe, look at your surroundings, look at your options before making a decision. And then you have this Willow. So I feel like you're trying to create something that's very stable. But again, don't be so frustrated that like things aren't moving as quickly as you want, because that's very like Aries and Mars energy. It's like if you're not moving fast enough, you feel as though you might be failing, and that's not the case. It's just like good things take time, you know, like an emperor does not become the emperor within a day, you know. And so that's something to keep in mind. It's just like, just because you feel that you're not where you need to be doesn't mean that you are failing, you know. And then we have 2 worlds. So I feel like with this card, whatever you're trying to accomplish, hope you can see that clearly, especially, so Aries or fire energy is all about passion and your drive. So I feel like what you're passionate about is going to go hand in hand with your stability. So I think if you don't really know what some of your passions are, maybe take a moment to think about it. And don't think about your passions in a way that's going to make money. You know, it's something that like whatever you're passionate about, the money is going to come. It's going to, you know, but again, you have to be patient, because again, I feel like you're taking the road less traveled. You know, like there's not going to be a whole bunch of YouTube videos and stuff like that showing you step by step how to accomplish what you want. You know, that's why I feel like you're just going to have to, yeah, so we'll move on. Let's move on to this card. So like it says journey, you know. So again, it's like there's all this preparation going, that has to happen before they set sail. So again, you know, you have to be prepared for this journey, because it's probably going to be a long one, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one sitting pretty, and all of your loved ones are going to be, you know, there to support you as well. And again, something that also with the Emperor energy, reevaluate who's in your circle, because when you're at the top, not everybody has the best intentions for you. So it's also going to be really important to use your discernment, because again, you just have to make sure, not saying that you're going to have to be like the lone wolf type, but again, you need to make sure that every single person in your circle is actually benefiting you, you know, not just on a financial level, but emotionally, mentally, physically. Like if every single time you are around a certain group of people and they're draining or getting you into some shit, that's kind of a red flag that, okay, like let me figure out how to kind of put everybody in their place. You know, maybe this group of friends is strictly for business, maybe this group of friends is strictly for going out to have a good time, you know. But then again, if I'm going out to have a good time with this group of friends, do they have my best interest? You know, are they gonna leave me at the club alone while I'm drunk as fuck? You know what I mean? So it's just like things to kind of keep in mind. And it's like, if they don't have your best interest, be mindful. But also I'm seeing in this card as well, Because there's like yarn, and this person is like creating yarn or whatever, and not weaving, I forgot what you call this process, but anyway, remember to take breaks in between what you're doing, because this person is, warming up a good meal, enjoying their space, enjoying what they have created in this physical realm, enjoying the things that they have manifested and worked so hard for. So really make sure that you take time to pamper yourself, and also do creative and fun things that don't have anything to do with business related, or just, whatever. If there's something that you're interested in, like if you are interested in knitting, take that up, and it doesn't have to be something that has to make money. Whatever you want to do as a hobby, it doesn't have to make money. It's just something that you enjoy, something that's going to keep you calm and balanced, so that, when you do step back into this emperor boss type energy, you're very calm, leveled, and you're going to be very precise. Because if you're trying to create something from chaotic energy, and chaos isn't bad, but it's not as organized sometimes, and sometimes if you are making boss moves, you do want to be organized as possible. But again, if you're not balanced within, everything in the external world is gonna go fucking crazy. And that's just how, like within this boat is a perfect example. If you don't have everything that you need in this boat, there, like all of these external things out in nature are going to come and hit you, and it's just gonna blindside you. But if you're prepared, if you're calm, if you do your research, so like in this card, diversity, do your research. What do you need to do in order to get to where you need to go? And I think that's something that, you definitely need to take time to figure out. So I think you should probably start writing your goals, aspirations down, and then also have another list for different hobbies and stuff that you want to do, and kind of go back and forth, so take one goal, and then do your research as to what you need to do to accomplish that goal, and try to create a step-by-step plan. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but just enough to where you can kind of like get a vision for where you're going. It's a map. You're creating a map for yourself, because with a map, it doesn't show you all the obstacles and different things that kind of come about. That's something that you learn along your journey. But if you at least have a plan, and then at least know markers and things like that to look out for, you won't be so blindsided by all these different things that kind of come about, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have growth and transformation, and go with the flow. Yeah. I think that describes everything perfectly, because again, yeah, you have to go with the flow. And it's another boat too. It's just so funny. And another tree. So again, yeah, whatever you're trying to do, you are definitely in the right place at the right time. And your ideas and what you want, your ideas are the seeds, okay? And then you have to take time to nurture them. And by nurturing them, you're doing research, making sure that you're working on it little bit by little bit, Again, you're not going to be able to accomplish this all in one day. Preparing for a journey takes a lot of planning, and it takes a minute to kind of get to that destination. But if you nurture those ideas, take a couple days out of the week to strengthen up your business plan, or learn some new skills, that's something that you could do just a couple times a week. And then also learning new skills as far as like something that you're interested in as far as hobbies, I think it's going to be really fun for you to just explore and kind of sit and just really enjoy yourself, really enjoy the journey. Because again, you're not going to get to the emperor level like that, because that's just not how things work. And that's okay. But you can enjoy the journey. So it's like, if you do want to go out and party with friends, do it, but maybe don't go out and party with friends if you have a really important business meeting the next morning, if that makes sense. So again, just be a little bit more aware of how you kind of operate, so that you're, making the best decisions for you. And, it's not going to hurt you in the long run. Again, you have to, in this moment, you have to think long term. you know, if I do this now, how is this going to affect me later down the line? You know, either next week, next month, next year, whatever. So let's see what else we got here. Yeah, we got the King of Keys. Hopefully you can see that clearly. I'll hold it up to the camera in a sec. 3 of Keys. Prince of Talismans. Two of Keys. 5 of Cups. And then we have the Ace of Talismans. Okay, so with the Two of Keys, again, this kind of represents energy of maybe being stuck in between two decisions and not knowing what to do, and that could create a lot of stagnant energy. So you really have to be mindful of, you know, again, follow your intuition, think before you act, and if you're really drawn to something, go for it. You know, don't take too much time trying to reevaluate how to move, and it's just like, and then you end up not going anywhere. You know, it's like you pack up your boat and everything, and then next thing you know, you're still docked. It's like, no, you need to go somewhere. Where are you trying to go? And then we do have the King of Keys, which I feel like with this card, these cards are so pretty. I'm feeling with this card, you just have to be strategic, you know, because again, the keys in this deck represents like the swords, and the swords represent in tarot your thoughts. And so what I'm feeling is that, like, you need to be, there's certain situations where you have to kind of put your logic above your emotions. So if there's people in your life that do not have your best interests, and they have shown it time and time again, then you need to kind of create a boundary for them. You know, like I said, maybe kind of put your friends in categories, not to be mean or anything, but it's like, here's this group of friends that I can go to them for whatever I need. Here's this group of friends that are great for going out to parties, and here's this group of friends that are kind of in between. You know, so it's like you kind of have to figure out how to kind of put people, and if they are not meant to be in your circle anymore, then you have to kind of make that decision and, you know, move accordingly. And then we have the Ace of Talismans, or the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like, and then you also have the Prince of Talismans as well. So I'm feeling like with either of these cards, hopefully you can see, with both of these cards, with the Prince of Talismans, I feel like you're moving slowly. So I feel like right now you're at the Prince level, okay, and then you're moving towards the Emperor level. So again, take your time. And I know that, and that's something that, like, I tell myself all the time, because I'm always like trying to do 110 things in one moment, and that's never okay. But also with the Ace of Talismans, I feel like there's new opportunities coming in for you. But again, just take a moment to think about if it's going to be good for you, if it's worth, you know, if it's something that's going to benefit you in the long run. If it is, and you're feeling, you know, in your heart and your intuition is telling you to go for it, definitely go for it, you know, because I think that's, you know, something, it's obviously a really great opportunity that your guides have, you know, in place for you. And then we have the Three of Keys, which is very similar to the Three of Swords. So I'm feeling like with this card, there's probably going to be a lot of individuals that you're going to have to let go. And I'm also seeing that with the Five of Cups as well. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that you're going to have to let go. And I feel like there's some moments where you're kind of upset about it. It could be people or things or situations that you've let go, and it kind of created a little bit of heartache, you know, and you could be very much in your feelings about what happened. So I think if you are having a little bit of a tough time adjusting to this new way of being, I think take that time and heal. And also with the 5 of Cups, I'm seeing that, you know, because there's 3 cups that are upright, and then there's 2 that are spilled over. So I'm feeling that, like, if one opportunity does not work out, that does not mean that you're a failure, or it doesn't mean that it's not never, like, your goals and aspirations are never going to come to fruition. I just think in that moment, that particular opportunity was probably not for you. And I think that's okay. I think that's something that you don't really have to worry about. Because again, whatever is going to be for your highest good is not going to pass you by. And I think you just have to, you know, if there is opportunities and stuff like that you may have let slide or slip away, 2 things are going to happen. Either it's going to come back and you're going to be able to nourish whatever that opportunity is much better than you were before, or it's something that you had to simply just let go. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be the best decision for you, and it's going to be fine, okay? So I'm going to shuffle these cards so we can get some affirmations for you, okay? And then we'll go ahead and close out your reading. All right. So first we have black pepper and integrate. Trigger statement, I am trapped. True statement, I am whole. Allow the parts of yourself you hide to make themselves known. In the light you will see the wisdom they hold. Yeah, again, there could be aspects of yourself or situations that you had to leave behind. But again, you are much wiser than you think. And also, if you've done some pretty shady things in the past, those things do not define you. Because you could have been acting from a place of survival. Like, you could have been acting from this prince type energy instead of the emperor energy. But again, you know better. And I feel like through all this growth and transformation and this new journey, or the journey that you're already on, it's going to create so much more. Like, it's going to open you up to so many different things. And it's also, I just heard that, like, if you were doing shady things in the past, a lot of those tips and tricks that you learned might get you out of or into situations that could actually benefit you. So again, you know, don't completely dismiss those aspects of yourself, because again, you might be able to finesse, and not saying that you need to go around like manipulating people. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that like if you know how to read people very well, that's going to help you discern who is best to go on this new journey with, if that makes sense. You know, I feel like there's certain things that you learn in life, and it's like, oh, okay, I've been through this situation before. Or like another example, if maybe you were very hot-tempered, you know, again, this is very Aries energy, fire energy. If you were very hot-tempered in the past, Don't be so afraid to kind of demonstrate that in specific settings. But again, use your wisdom, use your discernment. You know, if you need to like read somebody for filth, then you need to do that. But if you need to be a little bit more professional, like you can read somebody to filth in a professional way. You know, or if someone is trying to not give you a good deal on something, then you need to know like how, like, you know, if you've been through a shady situation before, it's like, okay, I know how to read this person now. I know how to move forward because I've been through this situation in the past. I hope that makes sense, but that's what I'm feeling. So we have sandalwood. Oh, there we go. Okay, so sandalwood, awareness. Yep. Trigger statement, I never get what I want. True statement, I am a powerful creator. Listen to your inner voice, release your ideas of the outcome you wish to see, and trust that you are aligned with the universe. Exactly. It's like with what I mentioned with the boat, it's like now you're like in this preparation phase because your guides are preparing you for this journey so that when you get to the wherever on the map where like X marks the spot, it's just like everything's going to make sense. And this is something I have to tell myself all the time too. It's like, you know, I forget how powerful I truly am. And then I think back to all the things that I've been able to manifest in my life, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. Why was I doubting myself? Why was I kind of feeling down about this particular situation when in fact, if I would have went down this road, I don't know, I don't have a lot of faith that it would have, like the outcome would have been positive for me. And again, like I mentioned before as well, don't plan everything down to the T. Again, give yourself some wiggle room to kind of adjust and maneuver. Because again, like with this, another thing with the boat, you know, you got to go with the flow, because a storm could hit you out of nowhere and you wouldn't even, like, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. But again, if you're prepared, you're going to be fine and you're going to be able to navigate those choppy waters with ease. So again, relating back to life, like no matter what obstacle you go through, it's going to be okay. As long as you constantly remind yourself that like you have a destination, you have somewhere that you're meant to be. And you're becoming, like this card said, I'm becoming more whole each and every day. The more that you work on your gifts, the more that you love yourself, the more that you become whole, the more that like all of these different things are going to be integrated. You know, all these lessons that you've learned, the easier this transformation is going to be. Not saying there are going to be some difficult moments, but it's going to be a lot easier than when you were in this prince type energy. You know, when you're at the emperor stage, you're gonna know exactly how to maneuver. So then we have lavender. Lavender, balance. Trigger statement, no one understands me. True statement, I ask for what I want. From a place of love, you need to stand up and speak your truth. What you wish for is what the universe wishes for you. Yeah. Again, you know, like say for instance, if you're trying to express your emotions to that one friend who doesn't know how to be super sensitive, that might have not been the person to go to, you know what I mean? So again, but again, I can't speak for every situation. It's just like sometimes, like, you know, you have that one friend who gives you tough love, and then you have that other friend who might be a little bit more nurturing, and you have some friends who might be kind of in between. So again, you know, brace yourself. But also, like this card says, ask for what you need. What do you need? Really take time to think about that too. You know, what is going to what is going to create balance within your life? What do you need as far as taking care of yourself properly? What do you need as far as getting to your destination? How do you need to prepare? Things like that. So then we have clove. Presence. Trigger statement, why did this happen to me? True statement, how did this happen for me? Know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead and the audience is here for you. Yeah. You're the emperor, man. Or you're moving towards that emperor level, you know, one or the other. At the end of the day, like with this seed that was for this willow tree in this image, it knew that it was supposed to be a willow tree. It just took time to get to that level. So it's like this energy is within you. Never forget that. You will always have this boss type energy within you. So whenever you're feeling down, it's just like you've got it in you to get to where you need to go and accomplish what you need. But again, don't take any obstacle or any perceived failure as something that that doesn't judge who you are. That doesn't you know, dictate who you are and who you are to become. Because at the end of the day, inside, you are the emperor. And again, if something did not, like with this 5 of Cups card, these opportunities that did not work out for you probably did not for a reason. And it's like you need to walk into every single space as with that same confidence, with that energy, and know within that you are the shit. You are the emperor. You are special. You are amazing. You have a certain presence about you that people just like, people can't quite put their finger on it, but it's like every single time you step into the room, people are like, oh, who is that? You know? So then we have Jasmine. Passion. Trigger statement, I am scared. True statement, when I am vulnerable, I am at my strongest. Reconnect with your feminine energy and pursue something that ignites your fire. Open the gates of your fortress and explore. Yeah. So again, a great leader, of course, observes before they act, but they also are able to express their vulnerable side. So you are having a tough time, like this card said, ask for what you need. If you need help with something, ask. And use your discernment to figure out who's the best person to take on that task for you or help you out with that particular situation. Because the help that you need is out there. And even if you don't know who that person is, ask your guides. You know, sit down and kind of take a minute, pray about it, journal about how you're feeling. And and this has happened to me too, like it never fails. Like if I needed help with something, like at this moment I'm redoing my website. And it's like, I've literally found someone who's going to help me do my website. And I just asked, and the person came in, and it's just perfect. So it's just like, this is the ask for what you want, and your guides will make a way. They always will. Again, you have to remember that you are, like this card says, you are a powerful creator. Don't be so indecisive. Don't overthink it, because again, you have all this power and passion and drive within you, but you gotta believe it. And I can sit here and tell you all the great stuff about you all day, but if you don't believe it, then I don't know what else to do. But I want you to believe it, and I want you to take time to really examine who the fuck you are. Okay. So pile number 1, this was your reading. I hope that it was helpful, and I'm truly wishing you all the best, love and light, and this is it for tarot.muva for right now. So I hope you have a good day, good month, good year, good life, and let me know what journey you're going on, you know, down in the comments, because I would love to hear about it and what you're kind of dealing with, because, you know, I'm also still on a journey, my damn self, so we can figure this out together if you want. So have a good one. Love you. Mwah. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. So let's get into your reading, okay? So first off, the overall energy is the Hierophant. So with this energy, I'm feeling as though you could be an educator, or you could be a teacher, That's the same thing. I don't know what. Whatever. The energy of the Hierophant is essentially something of the Pope. So it's someone that people look up to. And then you have the people down here who are like the disciples or the students or whatever. So if you are trying to evolve in some way, whether that be through education, or it could be that your guides want you to kind of connect with him a little bit more, because that does, because we have the 2 keys down here. And so for that with someone like the Pope or a preacher or whatever, they have this connection, allegedly. Another conversation for another time. But anyway, with the energy of the Pope, it's someone who has a connection with the heavenly realms, but also the earthly realms as well. So they're able to interpret messages from spirit and deliver it to everyone else. So you could be that person, or you could be looking for that person and kind of stepping into a leadership role. It might not be something that is quite in the spiritual realm, but I do think that your guides want you to reach out to them more, because I feel like you could be, because these keys are crossed, so you could be at a crossroads right now and you're trying to better understand yourself and others and what your purpose is on this earth, but you just need a little bit of help. And I feel like you could be lacking, like you have a lot of things kind of mastered on the physical realm, but as far as the spiritual and the earthly and the heavenly realms, you might not, there's a disconnect. And it's like you kind of need both in order to evolve in the best way possible. Because, again, I know like in church, because I was raised Southern Baptist, so a lot of times the pastors would always kind of say that like these earthly desires and things like that could be detrimental to your growth, but in actuality that's not the case, because you can have luxury and all these things while being a spiritual person. Like you can find that balance, but there is a fine line between gaining all of these physical things and forgetting the spiritual aspects, and how and connecting back to nature, connecting back to source, connecting back to your ancestors and your guides, because again, you have to think about, you're in this position to where a lot of people could be listening to you, and you have to act accordingly. And you need to stay balanced, and you need to stay grounded, because you're one of your goals or your missions is to elevate everyone at a certain. You're supposed to elevate people. Maybe the further along we get in this reading, we'll kind of figure out how that might happen, but essentially, if you love yourself, if you're able to grow and evolve in all these things, then everyone around you is going to benefit from what you know, and they're going to want to know how you got these things. But again, you need to be moving with love. Yeah, that's what I'm really feeling with this. Because it's like you're in the position to where you're going to be a leader, or you're already that leader. But again, if you're not balanced within, everything else is outside of you is not going to make sense. Like there's a lot of false prophets out here, and they keep preaching that they know certain things and know how to do certain things. But again, and also like, and then it's like they ask for, as an example, they ask for certain things from their viewers, but then they don't even do what they asked for. Like someone could say that they're trying to go on a trip to learn more about themselves and God, or go somewhere to build a school, but then they turn around and use that money to buy a Lamborghini. You see an Instagram picture and they just bought a Lamborghini or some shit. This is just an example, but that's an example of like not having that balance of the spiritual and the physical. It's like you can have both those things, but if you're using your platform to manipulate others, there's a lot of karma that is coming your way. But you know, there's good and bad karma. So if you're moving from a place of love, and as the example that I just gave, you know, using that money that you ask for in order to, oops, hold on one second. There you go, babe. Sorry, I had to do something for my cat, so. But if you're not doing what you say you're gonna do, if you're moving from a place of malintent, and you don't have the best interests of the people who are actually looking up to you for guidance, then it's never going to work out. You know, and I see that we're finding that there's a lot of we're seeing the fall of a lot of false prophets, or a lot of leaders or influencers or people who don't know what to do with all this power and this fame, and they're not even using their platforms to benefit everyone as a whole. And not saying that like that's necessarily their job, but you can definitely tell that it's only for their personal gain. So again, you can have all of these amazing luxuries, but if you're stepping on other individuals to get to where you need to go, then that's the fucking problem. That's why a lot of these false prophets and a lot of these people who say that they're very in tune with God and things like that, this is why they're falling by the wayside like flies. Every single one of them. And you don't want to be one of those people. So now I'm bringing it back full circle. You need to make sure that you're connecting with your guides so that you're not tempted to make those decisions that are not going to be beneficial for everyone as a whole. Because temptation will hit. And again, if you fall for a couple things, that's okay. Like, you're human, it's natural. But if it's a consistent thing where you don't even care. That's the thing you got to be that's like what you got to be worried about. So we have the 5 of Forces. Yeah, views of the ego. Three of Forces. And the 4 of Keys, clearing the way. So let's start from this side and then move along. So we have the bird's nest. Again, you're in this leadership role and you're nourishing everybody else. And you have to figure out the best way to do that from a place of love. You know, a mother bird or a parental figure has unconditional love. You know, they don't have conditions to their love. You know, like there's certain pastors and preachers out there where you have to give your tithes and offering in order to prove that you're worthy. And that's not how this shit works. Everyone is worthy of love. Love is unconditional. There's no conditions to love. You know, this mother bird is not going to not feed her babies because they can't fly yet, you know. As an example, it's like they're being nurtured. You know, she has patience. You know, she's feeding them, she's nurturing them. You know, and you know, she never shows up empty-handed. And I'm sure if she does, she probably has, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it's like with birds, they have like a pouch where it's like a reservoir for like food. Like if they can't find food one day, they have little, I could be making this up, I don't fucking know. It's been a minute since I've watched Animal Planet, but it's like they have a little stash somewhere where it's like they will always, you know, they always have something to give. But she's also nourishing herself in the same vein. And then we have this butterfly up here. Yeah, it's like this light up here, like everything, like this glowing like sun is like your guides just shining. Okay, so like there's certain things that you want to accomplish in life, and so your guides are shining light on all the different opportunities and things that you can accomplish. Like you could have it all, but again, if you're not nourishing yourself and nourishing others and moving from a place of love, everything's going to fall apart. And you're at this place where you're transforming from a place of love and observing when this ego kind of gets in the way. And the ego is not a bad thing. Having a healthy ego is never a bad thing, because there's differences. There's the healthy ego where it's like you look in the mirror and it's like, damn, I look really fucking good today. I really did the damn thing. I did a great job on that project. I am so confident in my abilities. That's the healthy ego. The wounded ego or the negative ego is when it's navigating from a place of self-doubt. Navigating from a place of survival and selfishness. Because when you're navigating from those aspects, it's like you only see yourself, and it's like you don't even see how your actions are affecting others, because you're at a different level, or you're moving to this different level. And you're going to be in between these different spaces where you're learning and you're teaching. So you have to be mindful, like, again, with that ego and that pride. If someone tells you, hey, I don't think this is correct, or hey, maybe you should look at this, this, and this, don't be like, oh, don't tell me what to do. That's not how you're supposed to move. It's like, okay, I'm going to look at this from a place of love. I'm going to look into what you're telling me, and I'm going to do my research and figure this out, And maybe everything that this person says doesn't resonate with you, but again, you have to move from a place of love. Don't be so quick to kind of tell somebody about themselves when that might, like, they're not even coming from that place. But also you have to be mindful that a lot of people out here are not as evolved as you. So you have to be compassionate, and you still have to move from a place of love, because again, they don't know any better. They're children. They're children, and they don't know any better. So you have to put your ego and your pride aside and understand that, like, you're on a different level. You can't be making these same decisions that you did before. Again, everyone makes mistakes, but it's different when you're a little bit more evolved. And so I think that you need to take the time to figure out what aspects of your ego are healthy and what aspects of your ego that you need to nurture, especially if it's in the realm of confidence, and things like that. And it's like, again, with this summer and winter, it's like you're blossoming. Because you may have been in this place of survival, like in this winter, just trying to make it through. But now everything is so abundant, and you need to make sure that you're using your resources and using your platform and using what you know to the best of your abilities. Because there is, and it's so wild to me that some people who get to this level, they're like, oh, I didn't ask for people to look up to me. And it's like, you're on the fucking pedestal. What do you expect? What do you expect? And again, you have to make sure that you're connecting with your spiritual side and your earthly side. Again, with the spiritual aspects of yourself, connecting with your guides, connecting to source, connecting to God, your ancestors, and your guides. But also having fun in this earthly realm. And you also have to think about your decisions, and if the long-term benefits of this is this going to help you? If betraying the trust of people that you truly care about, is that really worth it? Because a lot of people will say that it's lonely at the top, and I agree and I disagree. Because again, I do think that your friend group kind of dwindles the further you go up and evolve. But I do always feel like you do have at least a small few group of friends that you are always going, that like your soul tribe that you're going to have. And it's like, are you going to betray them for a bag? And I feel like there's a lot of people out here. Again, I think you need to sit from the student perspective and learn from the individuals that have not been able to maintain what they've had. They created something that was from a negative aspect of the ego. You know, insecurity and self-doubt and survival and selfishness. And selfishness may not be a bad thing. But again, if it's going to be something that's going to hurt others, then that's karma you're going to have to deal with, boo. Just saying. But again, I don't think that's the case for you. I think you just need a little bit of guidance and figure things out and take the time to understand how to move. And with the clearing the way card, I'm seeing that a couple different messages. One, your self-doubt and those negative aspects of the ego could be creating blockages. And also, when you're moving from a place of insecurity and self-doubt, you're not going to be able to get to your destination as smoothly as possible. Because it's very possible that they could like move around this damn log. Like, you might not have to sit here for, 40 days and 40 nights. I'm kidding. Sit here for fucking forever trying to chop this in half. And it's like, I'm also feeling that like what this represents, the person like hacking this with an axe, is like external influences getting in the way of what you want. Because it's like those comments and those messages and like who you think you have to be is constantly like plaguing your mind. And it's like, if you actually, again, step outside of yourself and step back for a second, you might be able to figure out how to get to that destination, get to that place of luxury and abundance without having to do a whole bunch of work. So then we have on the same page and defense mechanism. Yeah, don't be so quick to think that you need to be selfish. And it's selfish in a way that it's going to hurt others. Because it's probably unnecessary. Use your communication skills to make sure that whatever this person is feeling, like if it's someone that you care about, don't be so quick to write them off for whatever reason. Take time to sit down and listen to them and figure out what they need and what they want from you before you jump to conclusions and think that like, oh, they're just out to get me. Oh, they're just, it's like you probably are on the same page. And since these, I don't prescribe to the pink and blue means boy and girl, but I do feel like this could be as far as like in a relationship as well, where you could be putting up walls. And it's like this person that you're putting up walls or creating boundaries or allowing your negative ego to kind of speak for you. Like, you're not allowing this person to nurture you, and you're not allowing and you're not able to nurture them. So you're not able to give and receive love, if that makes sense. And it's like, you guys are probably on the same page, but again, y'all need to put the gloves down. Because first, not everything's about you. But also, this person might not even, sometimes people like say things and they don't know how to use tact. They don't know how to say things in a way to like, how can I explain this? Sometimes people don't know how to explain their emotions very well. Again, like I mentioned, like a lot of people, they're kind of like, they're like children. They don't know how to express themselves in a way. So it's like, take time to actually listen. That's one of those traits of a really good listener, and also your spirit guides as well. They don't just shut you down because you feel hurt by what someone said or hurt by a situation. They listen to you, they guide you, and they nurture you. And that's something that you should do for yourself and something you should do for others as well. Don't always feel like you're better than someone else, you know. I mean, sometimes it's true. But again, you also have to remember that you were once in that same place. You were once in this winter like energy of moving from survival and not knowing how to move forward in a healthy way, not knowing how to communicate in a healthy way. Not knowing how to, just not knowing how to move forward in a healthy way, like with the clearing the way. So it's like you need to kind of reevaluate what aspects of your ego is nurturing you and what aspects of your ego are creating blockages and are barren. So let's look at the tarot. We have alchemy. Right there. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. Princess of Talismans. Four of Cups. Stay. There we go. And then the Five of Pentacles. So with alchemy, I'm seeing that like knowing how to give and receive love is going to create something more beautiful than you ever expected. And this energy, the energy of this card is Sagittarius. And with Sagittarius, you know, I'm a Sag. You know, I love talking to people. I love, you know, obviously, but I love talking to people. I love getting different perspectives about how to approach a certain situation from people. You know, for me, it's like I don't automatically like assume. Like I've seen this time and time again. Like people automatically assume that when some, this is just an example, but when English is not someone's first language, people automatically assume that they're dumb, which is so stupid to me because I'm like, this is not their native language, so they don't know how to properly communicate. Or if someone is kind of a child in an adult's body, they don't know how to communicate properly. You know, they don't know how to communicate their emotions properly. So instead of me getting in my ego and feeling like, oh, I'm better than them, or they don't, you know, they don't deserve the time of day, it's like, actually, I just sit there and listen. And every single time that I have done that, I've been able to understand that person on a deeper level. You know, even when someone was on some bullshit and trying to get defensive with me, I still, you know, again, I've evolved a lot. Because, I mean, even with the Sagittarius is a fire sign. So it's like I can be very quick tempered sometimes, but I've evolved and I've learned that like I can't always react. You know, you know, reacting to things is never the best case scenario. Because it probably that situation doesn't even deserve that level of aggression. 9 times out of 10, that's how it goes. But also, you know, with the positive aspects of the ego and the negative aspects, again, making sure that like you're using affirmations and speaking to yourself in a kind way, but also doing that for others. And I think the people who are supposed to be in your circle are going to nourish you as well. So it's like you nourish them, they nourish you, and it's like a really amazing and beautiful back and forth energy. And then we also have the Four of Cups here, or the Four of Elixirs, excuse me. And it's like follow, you know, you have to follow. This is the energy of Cancer. And Cancer, the zodiac sign is a very nurturing energy. Like they're so sweet and they're so amazing. But again, they're sweet and amazing, but also the unevolved Cancer energy can be very manipulative. So it's like you gotta figure, you know, you gotta check yourself. You know, are you moving from a place of love, or are you kind of trying to manipulate the situation? Are you putting up a facade? You know, like with the crab, it's like they have a soft underbelly, but then they have this very hard exterior on the top of their body. So it's like, are you playing tough when actually you're very insecure? And it's okay if you are, but again, don't, you know, and a lot of people can kind of read right through that shit. You know, I'm a psychic. I can tell when someone comes at me with this like vibrato and this big ego and this pride, and it's like, okay, I know how to handle you, and we're just gonna keep it pushing. And also with the Four of Cups, I feel like your guides are trying to give you some insight as to how to move forward and to heal these aspects of yourself that may have kind of fallen by the wayside for so long. Heal these aspects of yourself. Like, why do you need to get defensive when someone tries to challenge or say certain things about you that you may not agree with? You know, if someone is trying to give you advice, don't shut them down. Again, everyone should come at you with respect, but if they're genuinely trying to help, you need to use your intuition and be aware of what their purpose and what they're trying to do. And so we have the Princess of Talisman. So I do feel like there's going to be quite a bit of information coming to you as far as how to balance out your life of luxury, or the ideal life that you want to have, with the spiritual realm as well. So I feel like you're gonna find different ways to make sure that you're nourishing yourself, nourishing others, connecting with your guides, and getting what you need out of the physical realm. And I feel like you're at this place where you're just building something that's going to be abundant for you and going to blossom. You know, you're trying to get to this like stable house out here. And then we do have the Five of Pentacles. I'm feeling with the Five of Pentacles, don't bring it, like with someone who has a very a lot of self-doubt and insecurities, they tend to bring attention and shine a light on the things that they're insecure about, and they don't even realize it. Like, they try to hide behind this ego and this pride, but in actuality they're telling you exactly what they're insecure about. And I feel like what you have to do is, again, come from a place of love and make sure that you're on the same page, like this card says underneath it. Because again, you don't want to, because you wouldn't like someone to attack your weaknesses when they know what bothers you. So don't do that with other people. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles. So whatever you're working towards, it's going to create longevity. And again, if you find this balance within, you know, and create with love. Don't be like all these false prophets out here telling people what they need to do and how they need to get to a certain place, and then they're not even following their own instructions. Or they're stepping over other individuals in order to get to where they need to be. You can have every single thing that you want. The house, the luscious, you know, whatever you want, whatever you need, the children, family, all the luxury, the abundance, the prosperity, you can have all of that. But you're not going to be able to maintain it if you're stepping over other individuals to get to where you need to go. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the reading, that's why a lot of these false prophets and a lot of these individuals that have done that they're slowly but surely kind of falling by the wayside. Like, no one really cares anymore, because people are starting to notice that, hey, you actually are a terrible person. You actually, you know, are just a child within an adult's body, and just being very destructive. So I'm gonna get some affirmations for you, and then we're gonna close out this reading, okay? So we have lemon eucalyptus, sovereignty. Trigger statement: what will they think? True statement: I navigate through life with ease. Now that you must claim your energetic independence, cut the cords to lower vibrations. It is time to ascend. Like I said, not everybody is on your level, and that's okay. Don't treat them as if they are less than, because again, everything that you've done to get to this point, they have to do it as well for themselves. So again, like I mentioned with the Five of Pentacles, when someone is insecure, they show you what they're insecure about, and you hitting their triggers just because you can and just because you're aware of them is not okay. You don't always have to be right. You just have to understand who you are within and keep it pushing. Because you are a leader, you are a very strong individual, you are a very prosperous and abundant person. You don't have to do something just because someone else does it. Like I mentioned earlier, as humans, we go through these trends and phases consistently. Like right now, a lot of people are into Lamborghinis and name brand things. If you don't have those things, it doesn't matter. Eventually, I do think that you can get to this level with the Ten of Pentacles. But in this moment, you need to make sure that you get there the right way. Because all of these individuals who have a lot of those things are creating a lot of destruction. As an example, it's so hard because like you can find everything you want on Amazon. And it's hard because, a lot of the things that I have, it's, if I recommend something, you can find it on Amazon. And I know it's hard because it's like, it's easy for everyone to access, and anything that I suggest, I want people to have access to, but it's not a good platform because of the way they treat their employees. But again, it's one of those things where it's like you have to kind of weigh your options. And you have to make sure that you're doing things for the right reasons. I'm not doing it to necessarily, if I ever were to partner with any company that was on that level, I'm not doing it to say that I work with them or I have this, and that. I'm doing it because I want to make sure that everyone has access to the same information and the same tools that I have, no matter where they are, nationally or internationally. Just because this particular person has all these name brand things does not mean that they're better than you. They're probably very insecure, to be honest. They have all these things to kind of deflect and kind of distract you from it's a distraction, essentially. And again, there's nothing wrong with having all of these luxury things, but how are you getting those things is the thing that you have to pay attention to. So then we have tension, release. Trigger statement: I have nothing left. True statement: I nurture myself. Dear one, it is time to settle. Create a sacred space where you can be. In that place of rest, healing will unfold. Yeah, your guides are really wanting you to connect with them, because there's certain aspects of you that need to heal first before you evolve. And you're ascending, but again, you may not have the awareness of what's kind of holding you back and what you need to release. So again, it's time to kind of focus. And again, like I said, there could be a lot of self-doubt, insecurities. You're putting up your defenses all the time. So again, you got to take a minute to connect with your guides. Ask them to reveal to you what you need to release so that you can evolve with ease. And you can navigate this life with ease. Like I said, you know, they might be able to go around this fucking log, but we don't know. So we have repellent, shielded. Trigger statement, I am under attack. True statement, I am strong. You will clearly see what you are taking on from outside influences and release. Your energetic boundaries are fortified. Yeah, exactly. Because there could even be traumatic things that have happened in your past, and you could be reacting based on things that happened in your past. And it's like, you are no longer that helpless child. You are no longer that person in that very toxic environment or relationship or work environment, you know? You're so much more aware. You're evolved, you're ascending. You can't be moving from a place of this Five of Pentacles energy. You can't keep moving from this place of survival. That's not who you are anymore. You're becoming a leader, or you are a leader. You're stepping more into your power. And then we have Rosemary. Wisdom. Trigger statement, it does not make sense. True statement, I see the bigger picture. You are moving towards a deeper level of understanding, from knowledge to wisdom. Take time to absorb the lessons. Yeah. When you have someone who's like the Pope, there's a lot of different steps that they have to take in order to get to that level. Like with birds, even though that they could say that it's instincts, that they know where to go for food, it's also wisdom as well. Because these little baby birds have to learn, you know, they're going to be watching their mother or their father show them how to get food. And so they use that knowledge. And then once they kind of get a little bit more familiar with it, they know exactly what to do. And it's almost like it becomes second nature. Or when these baby birds are jumping out of the nest for the first time, they have this knowledge within them on how to fly, but the wisdom kicks in when they are actually able to soar. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's like there's a lot of things within you that is going to show you how to get to where you need to go with ease. You know, get to this Ten of Pentacles, get to this longevity, this abundance, this wealth, this generational wealth as well. But again, you need to make sure that you're paying attention to what you need and what you want, and how to go about those things in the best way. And you also need to learn from the individuals who are not moving from a place of love as well. Because they're going to show you what not to do. Because if you really pay attention to, as an example, any musician out there who got all these cars and chains and stuff like that, and they sign these stupid ass fucking deals, they're not going to be able to create this stability like they think they are. It's fleeting. All of this shit is fleeting, and you need to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to make sure that this shit lasts. So if you're doing petty bullshit or paying attention to what people may think about you, you're not going to get there. Or it's going to take much longer, like clearing the way. It's going to take much longer for you to get there because you're concerned about something that doesn't even matter. Because like I said, they might for real be able to get around this damn log or roll it out of the way. But instead, this particular person is using force instead of logic. Because this abundance right here is all you. And this Ten of Pentacles, this is what you're working towards. But again, you got to find that balance and make sure that you're doing everything the right way. And I'm going to say it one more time. Luxury is not the issue. It's how you get it. So pile number 2, this was your reading. I hope this helps. And I'm wishing you all the best. All the love. All the light. And your guides are so excited to finally have these, conversations with you so that you can heal. and you can evolve and ascend to this amazing and beautiful person that you are on the inside. You just got to take the time to get to know that person within. But you're going to get there. I have complete faith in you. You're going to be just fine. All right. So, wishing you all the best. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. So the first card that we have is the Hermit. So with the Hermit, this is someone very Virgo energy, someone who doesn't mind being alone, someone who enjoys spending time kind of discovering, new and exciting elements about themselves that they can use in the external realm. So the best way that I can kind of make sure that you understand, because I always want to make sure that I'm communicating as clearly as possible, is if there's ever some kind of issue that's happening externally in your external world, whether that be with business, relationships, or anything like that, you are very you're in this place where you're being asked, or you already kind of do this where you take time to just kind of sit with yourself in silence. And I also believe that your guides are wanting you to kind of sit and rediscover why you're so special. And it's kind of interesting that the Hermit is like holding the star outside of itself. Like it almost kind of gives off this energy as if it's holding their soul outside of themselves, or they're trying to find external validation for something that they already have within, if that makes sense. Like they're looking for external validation and they don't need it. And so I kind of feel like in this moment that you need to take some time for yourself. And I think it's really helpful to do, affirmations and things like that, and take time to do some journaling to really break down and analyze why you're special, because I know that you're... Rubio, stop. Because I know that you're special, but I think that you might need a little bit of help kind of remembering that yourself and rediscovering, those different elements of yourself that either you may have forgotten about, or you don't really acknowledge at this time, because maybe whatever is happening in the external world is just, it's a distraction, it's becoming a little too distracting at the moment, and you're forgetting. I feel like you might have forgotten why you do what you do, and the passion, behind the moves and stuff that you make, the passion behind all the goals and aspiration that you have. So I think you definitely need to take some time to just, take a break, rediscover all those amazing elements about yourself that you've kind of forgotten at this point, because you are special and you got to remember that. So we have balance. Yeah. Intricacies in industry. So I'm like getting messages as I'm like flipping these over. Karmic trench. And then up in the air. Alright, so what I'm feeling, let's start from this side and move across. So I'm feeling like with up in the air, since there is like what seems like a couple right here, maybe there's someone that you're interested in and you're just not sure what to do. But again, I think, like the card says, it's up in the air. There's like nothing set in stone. And back to the Hermit, which is represented by the sign of Virgo. Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury, which is the planet of communication. You know, it's going back and forth from the heavens to earth to communicate different messages from God or gods or deities and things of that nature. And it's very quick moving energy as well, you know, just like with this card and like a hot air balloon, like a quick gust of wind will have you, you know, in a completely different state, you know, like you just never know. And so that could be something that, you know, maybe that's where like the external validation is kind of coming from. Like maybe your career, something in life is kind of shifting and moving and everything. But two things that I'm feeling is that don't be so, you're in this space where you're going to have to be flexible. You're definitely going to have to be flexible. And I'm feeling like if there is some sort of relationship that you're curious about, maybe it's time to kind of figure things out. You know, maybe it's time to ask questions and see what the other person is about. You know, I think it's just like, I feel like you're looking for this freedom, but you could be allowing fear to kind of get in the way of what you're trying to accomplish. And I do believe that you can have it all, but you're limiting yourself because of fear. And it's like, it's very possible that the person that you're interested in can be just as flexible as the wind, you know, but you wouldn't know that unless you actually give it a chance. And I feel like with the karmic trench, it's like this person is doing all this work by himself, but he doesn't even notice that there's a horse or a donkey, I can't really tell, and then they could be, I forgot what it's called, but in order to like dig these grooves in a garden. So I'm feeling like, and then there's like these bags as well. And I know that's like in this particular card, it represents like fertilizer and things like that. So what I'm feeling is like, you're putting too much work into one thing and not the other. Like you're putting too much work. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm like receiving a lot of different messages, so I'm trying to make sure that I stay focused. But what I'm feeling is like, you're nurturing something that doesn't need to be nurtured. And I feel like you're trying to create something that's stable, because there's even like a house in the background of this card. Like you're trying to create something stable, but you're doing it with the wrong person and with the wrong mindset. Because you have help. You have another, in this card, it's like another creature, another person or or, you know, there's other things in life that can help you to get where you need to be. Like you don't have to do this alone. And when it comes down to relationships, like I said, you're building something, you're trying to create something stable with someone who does not deserve that energy. And it's karmic, so it's like you're building, you're digging your own trench, you know, like you're digging, like, sorry, like I said, you're trying to create something that's not going to be stable and abundant with the wrong individuals. And you could be, if it is in a relationship or business kind of environment, you know that you're not supposed to be working with this person, or you know that you're going to have to put in more effort in the relationship or in the partnership, but you're still not willing to listen to your own intuition. You're still trying to appease external, like you're still trying to get this external validation for something that you don't even care about. And if it is a person or some kind of partnership, like you don't care, like deep down, like you gotta discover what you actually care about. What do you actually need in this moment? What do you need to flourish? And I think you need to ask for what you need, because it's like, and utilize your tools, utilize what you already have now. that you know is going to create longevity, because you can feel it. You know a certain situation or opportunity is going to create longevity, but you're still trying to kind of like stick to these old ways of being. And then we have balance here. So I think you need to kind of shed light on what needs to be adjusted, because there's like this light coming in through the door. And so I'm feeling that like you're not nourishing those aspects of yourself that are kind of like pushed back to the crevices. And it's like these letters haven't been sent out. So I'm feeling like you want to speak to someone about something, but you're afraid to for whatever reason. And it's like, if you've ever read or seen the movie Dune, one of the quotes from that movie that has always been like so potent, and it was, fear is a mind killer. And it really is, because it keeps you so stagnant. And speaking from experience, you know, it keeps you in a place to where it's like you think that you know better, but you don't. You think that this particular situation that you know for a fact is not healthy or not beneficial to you. It's not going to be something that's going to create balance within your life, but you're still choosing this karmic thing, this karmic, because karma can be good and bad, because it's like if you use the tools and knowledge that you have, you're going to be able to create something that's very nurturing, like this luscious grass in this particular image. But instead, you're choosing this negative karmic cycle to continue along because you are afraid to get outside of your comfort zone, and you're afraid to actually seek out what you need and what you want. And again, you're trying to create something stable, but in this card, there's two people working on this house or this building or whatever the structure is. Intricacies and industries. I don't know if you can see, because it's like there's another person back here. So again, like I said before, it's like you're trying to create something stable with the wrong individuals. So again, you need to take time to figure out what you need, because all of these external things are not going to get you where you need to be. And with this card, like I said, you know, there are all these letters and messages and things like that. Like, why are you holding back? I feel like this is the wrong time to be holding back, especially because you're trying to create something that's going to be stable. Because it's like, in life, we can't do this alone. I feel like we've been raised to think that we can kind of create by ourselves. And yes, I do believe that alone time is very important. But when it comes down to it, you need other perspectives. And I feel as though, yeah, because you have a plan and it's very straightforward, but it's like a piece that you're missing. And it's very possible that this other person or other situation that you know is more beneficial for your growth and evolution is going to get you there, but for some reason you're still trying to kind of do the work by yourself, or you're still dealing with people who are not creating balance within your life. Like, you need peace in order to evolve. It's very difficult to create something stable when there's chaotic energy and when you feel like the world is on your shoulders. And with this up in the air card, it's like, when you finally to figure out what you need and what you want and take the actions to get to that place, to journey on that particular path that you're a little terrified to go down, you're gonna be very surprised. And in this one, it's like up in the air. Like, it's like you expect this person or this situation or partnership or whatever business venture to be one way, but again, like the wind, it's like it's constantly shifting. Like you're trying to predict what's going to happen, and it's not like you might be kind of wrong. You might surprise yourself. And it's like, even though, like, say for instance, as a scenario that's kind of coming to mind as like a story behind this card, it's like maybe they wanted to ride the hot air balloon, but it's still just as magical to watch them, So it's like it's kind of like a story about being flexible, but also being happy with what you have right now. And enjoying these little aspects of life, stop, I feel like you're not to be mean, but I feel like you're doing too much. You feel like you have to be very extravagant in order to, you have to do everything very extravagantly or like very intensely in order to prove to someone that you're worthy of their love and their affection. But you're trying to prove that to the wrong person and to the wrong individuals, like the people that don't create balance within your life. And you need people in your life that are going to appreciate the small things. Like, even though you guys weren't able to, in this scenario, even though you guys weren't able to, maybe you couldn't afford it, or maybe you missed it, you missed the deadline to sign up for it, or missed the callback time, or what, I don't know what you missed your moment. You felt like you missed your moment, but it's still just as magical to watch hot air balloons or to watch a sunset, even, because like the sun is setting in this card. It's still just as magical. It's still, and I feel like, yeah, you're missing out on some really beautiful and magical experiences. And I feel like the more that you find balance within your life with the Hermit card and with others that actually want to be a part of your life and a part of your growth, the easier it's going to be to just kind of be at ease and like create what you want in life without feeling like it's a burden. So we have trauma involved and afraid of commitment. Yeah, that's what I was kind of feeling as well, especially with the up in the air card and the intricacies and industries. Of course, like, new situations, partnerships, and relationships are never easy, but they're not that damn difficult. Because it's like, as long as you are balanced within, everything else will kind of just flow with ease, like the wind. It's easy. But again, of course, there's going to be moments where, you got to put in that work. You got to put in that work to build something that's actually going to be stable. But if you're not looking at your options, if you're not paying attention to how you need to move forward in the correct way, if you're paying too much attention to external validations, or if you're afraid of commitment, you're missing out on some very, very beautiful experiences and people. And I feel for you though, it's hard. And with trauma involved, it's like, there could have been things that happened in the past that created dysfunction and imbalance within your life. But you have a choice, especially in this, literally all life is making choices. We feel like we have a lot of control over certain situations and how things are going to play out and certain outcomes, but we don't. All that we have in this moment is choices. And you can choose to allow the trauma that happened in your past to get in the way of you actually living a beautiful and blissful life. And with the scales and things like that, and like the light shining into this room, I'm kind of feeling like if you are not seeing a therapist, I strongly suggest it. I did therapy for a while. Definitely gonna, get back into, seeing my therapist. Because it's so healing, and they're able to shed light on things that you may have not noticed. They're able to shed light on things that have been kind of like hiding in the corner, and they've just been bothering you, and you can't quite identify it. So I feel like going to see therapy, taking time for yourself, doing some journaling, I think a lot of that is going to help. And just don't be afraid to express your feelings, because I think with different new situations, we're always afraid that whatever happened in the past is going to happen in the future, and that's not necessarily the case. Because if you're in a balanced place and you're listening to your intuition, you're paying attention to where your guides are kind of nudging you, because they're gonna let you know. If you ask for a sign, it's literally like like you can't help but not to notice it. And there also could have been certain things in your childhood that are keeping you, that make you think that you're not going to be able to find healthy relationships, whether that be romantic or platonic. But again, they made their choices, and that's how they got to where they were. You are in this position to where you see what happens when you're not balanced within and how that affects you. Now you have a choice. Do you want that balance or not? And what do you need to do in order to create that within your life? And afraid of commitment, it's like, again, there could have been certain things that happened in the past and you're just afraid. But again, you have to also keep in mind that every new relationship, situation, partnership, business opportunity it's a new experience. And you can notice the red flags straight up. So there shouldn't be, so it's not like you have to kind of suffer through, like the karma's trench. It's not like you have to suffer through all this. It's like, the next time around, exactly what you're looking for. If you feel a certain type of way about a person that doesn't feel right, you know how to act. So it's like, don't expect it to be like it was before, because it's like you're a new person. You know yourself better. You have a better understanding of your intuition, and you might also have a better connection with your guides as well. So they're going to be putting you on to how to move forward with ease. But again, you're allowing this fear to create more complications with what just more complications. And it's like, you can have that help. They're your guides, and whoever you're wanting to actually be in your circle, the people that you truly care about, or the people that you're wanting to get to know, they're more than willing to help you. But are you going to take that leap of faith? Are you just gonna like continue to go down this karmic cycle where you're just like, you feel like there's no hope? Like you got to do this whole damn field by yourself. You got to build this whole house by yourself. But I don't know what to tell you. You got choices, man. So we have the Three of Cups. What's that in frame? Yeah, okay. So we have the Three of Cups, the Nine of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Four of Keys, excuse me. Justice, another scale. Look at that. Very Libra energy. And then we have Fortuna, which is the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. Sorry, I'm like OCD, so. Okay, so we have the Three of Cups. So with the Three of Cups, it's all about celebration. It's very much, you know, like you can see there's the sign of Cancer right here and Mercury. So I think that this is calling you to express your emotions, because you've been allowing something to fester for far too long. I don't know what that is, but maybe we'll kind of, it probably has to do with the relationships and how you're moving forward, and the fact that like there might be some individuals that are not creating balance within, with your life, but also you are responsible for yourself. So it's like, if you know this, don't keep going back in these cycles, in these loops with these people. And I know it's very difficult to cut individuals off that don't have your same interest. But what do you want? You have a choice. Do you want peace, or do you want to still deal with the same bullshit? And also with the Three of Cups, I'm feeling like, since it's next to the Afraid of Commitment and Up in the Air and the Karmic Trench, I'm feeling that like there could be like a third party situation. Because in the traditional card, there's three people and they're all kind of toasting, but there's always like the third person and you don't see their face. So I'm feeling like there could be someone that you're really, really interested in, but you're still messing with this karmic person. And what I mean by that, whenever I say a karmic individual, there's someone that you're only supposed to learn a lesson from them. You're not supposed to build something stable with the karmic person. Like if you enter a business deal and something goes wrong because of that other person, it's like, okay, I'm not going to do that again with this particular person. But if someone like them comes along that's very similar, I know how to move forward. I know how to pay attention to the signs and really figure out what I need. I know how to communicate how I'm feeling so that this doesn't happen again. So it's like you're juggling someone who's a karmic versus your soulmate. And a soulmate can be, again, romantic or platonic. So it's like you're juggling too much, and it's causing an imbalance, And I think with the Four of Keys, you need some more Libra energy, which is the scales again. You need to take time to rest, because the things that you're allowing to kind of fall by the wayside, that you're not actively dealing with, that you're not actively healing, is expanding, because we have Jupiter right in the corner, the symbol of Jupiter. And Jupiter is our biggest planet. It's all about expansion and amplification, abundance, higher knowledge, higher learning. And you're not listening to your higher self. You're not listening to what your intuition is telling you. Your soul and your spirit needs balance, and you're not willing to kind of take time to figure out how that needs to kind of look and feel. Or you're not willing to explore how that should look or feel. Because again, every single situation is a new experience. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, this is all about like reciprocity. Like you want someone that's going to be able to reciprocate the same energy that you give out. You want someone to build something with. You want someone to build something strong or something sturdy with you. But again, you're dealing with karmic energy. You're dealing with karmic individuals, people that you're only supposed to learn a lesson from. You're only supposed to learn a lesson with them, and then you move on, like the wind. It's like as soon as you get what you need, you move on. And not saying that needs to be like a selfish thing, like a one night stand kind of thing. That's not what I mean. Although you do you. I'm not judging. I really don't care. I'm just all about consent and using protection. You do you. But again, you're wanting, this is balance all day, and this is it's showing the moon, so your emotions, your instincts, and then Taurus energy as well. That Taurus energy is all about stability, all about longevity. But again, you're choosing the wrong things. You're choosing the wrong individuals. You're choosing the wrong situations. And then we have Fortuna, which is the Wheel of Fortune in tarot, also represented by Jupiter as well. So the Wheel of Fortune, or Fortuna, it's an infinity sign. Like, it's constantly going around and around. And so again, you can stay in this unhealthy cycle if you want to, but you have a choice. Because with the energy of Jupiter, it's going to expand to different aspects of your life. And with the trauma involved, I'm feeling like there's certain things that you're not... Like with the Four of Keys, I'm feeling like you need to take time to rest, to figure out what you need, and figure out what ideas and mindsets are not yours. Because you might have absorbed other individuals' projections about how life should be, and that's not what you need, that's not what you want, and it may not even be healthy for you. Like, you don't have, like in this card, you don't have to be a lone wolf forever. Of course, your alone time is important to recharge. Like the Four of Keys is saying, like, you need time to rest and rejuvenate, but you don't have to do everything alone. You don't have to build the stable life that you're looking for by yourself. Like, being afraid of commitment or committing to your own mental health or your own growth is creating a cycle that's expanding to all these different aspects of your life, whether that be business, relationships, partnerships, friends, family, all of that. So it's just like it's becoming too much. And with the Justice card, another scale, you need to cut away those things that are not helping you, that are not healthy for you, because you have the sword here, the double-edged sword. So it's like you can cut away the things that you don't need, or you're going to end up hurting yourself in the long run. And I'm also feeling, because there's the sun and the moon and the scales, like you have to balance your ego and your emotions. Because you could have a very healthy ego. I think people kind of get that misconstrued. Like, there's the positive aspects of the ego where it's confidence, your drive, what you want to accomplish, and you have the confidence within yourself to get there. And you look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I am that bitch. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I got this. I'm amazing. I'm perfect. I'm awesome. All that. But there's the negative aspects of the ego where it's like a mask, and then but behind that mask is insecurities or trauma that has never been healed, which is causing insecurities, which is causing self-doubt, which is causing you to be fearful of things that you don't even need to be afraid of. And with the moon, I'm feeling like you need to listen to your instincts and intuition, and it's imbalanced. Like, you have this false ego and this trauma, and it's just causing you, it's draining the hell out of you. That's what I'm feeling. And then we have the Nine of Keys, which is the Nine of Swords. Like, all of this imbalance is probably keeping you up at night. Probably has you very stressed, very anxious. It probably has you moving very quickly into situations that you know that you don't need to be in. But then it's this cycle where it's like you get into these situations that you know that you don't need to be. You're getting into these like karmic situations where you're specifically only supposed to learn a lesson. But again, you keep getting caught in these loops, because you're trying to build something stable with someone who's only supposed to be temporary. And then they're keeping you up at night because you don't know what to do. And again, you have a choice, and you have to stop because there's this symbol of Mars in the corner in Gemini. So you need to communicate what you need and stick to that. Because your thoughts are keeping you up at night, and they're probably going, since it's Mars energy, they're probably like coming in like this. and creating more of an imbalance. So you might not even be sleeping very well. Okay, so that's all I'm getting, but I'm going to shuffle some affirmations for you guys for pile number 3, and then we're going to close out your reading, okay? Spirit, angels, and guides, what other messages do you have for pile 3? Some affirmations to help them heal. What do they need to be aware of? Woman, okay, whoa, womans. I feel like as we were talking about relationships, I feel like that's just really funny that came out. So here, let's read that one first. So we have, we have woman's soften. Trigger statement, I take control. True statement, I am compassionate. Take a moment and allow yourself to see things from your heart center. From that place, allow your intuition to guide you. Yeah, and this is also the sacral chakra in this card, which is all about your sexual energy and your sexual drive. So you could be I'm feeling like just because this person, again, I don't judge. You do you. Like I truly don't judge, you know, who people decide to sleep with. Although for me, which I'll talk about this in a later video, you know, for me, I've been celibate for quite some time because your sexual energy is pure creation, pure creative energy. And when you're wasting that energy on individuals who don't really care about you or not interested in actually creating something that's stable with you, you harden up and you get you know, and you're not used. It's just like, it's like you're having sex with individuals just to have sex with them, and you deserve more. Because I feel like in those moments you might feel like you're in control, but you're not. Like you're allowing your fear and your insecurities and things like that to kind of take over, because it's like you're trying to control something that you don't even have control over. You're not moving from your heart center, and I feel like that's you need to soften up, because you've become so hard and so cold-hearted. And it's like you deserve this happiness, you deserve love, but you're not allowing your intuition to guide you to individuals that are actually for your benefit. Yeah. Then we have lemon, clarity. Trigger statement, I am so confused. True statement, I am present. Allow your mind to clear and let the noise of your thoughts fall away. Listen to your intuition. Yes. Yeah, that's like what I was saying earlier with the 9 of keys or the 9 of swords. You gotta listen to yourself. Because 9 times out of 10, you know, your guides speak to you with thoughts that kind of come in. It's like your lower self, or your lower self, or the self that needs to be healed. You know, the wounded child is going to be popping up whenever there's like insecurities and things like when there's insecure thoughts or self-doubt. Those are kind of those wounded thoughts that come up, those wounded memories that keep like resurfacing, and you think that the same thing is going to happen to you again that happened to you in the past, which may not be the case, because again, we have choices. If you see the red flags, you know better, you know what they look like. But again, with the Four of Keys or the Four of Swords, you need to take time to rest. And the Hermit as well. You need to go within and figure out what you need. Because as much as you try to control the situation, you're not like, when you move from a negative ego, or you move from a place where you're trying to control a situation or control what happens in your life, it never works out. Because control does not equal love, and you need love, and you need to figure out. And it's so fascinating that in society we're so afraid of love. And again, I know I'm speaking from experience. I'm still learning. We're so afraid of love, but it's like the highest frequency. It's the highest form of being, like this hot air balloon. So yeah, like this card says, I am present. You need to stay present in this moment and think about what you need for yourself. And in those moments where you're gonna, revert back to a karmic situation or a karmic person, be present. Think about, all you have to do is, like, if I make this decision, if I enter in this partnership with someone, this business opportunity, enter into this relationship, have sex with this person, is this going to be beneficial for me in the long run? You have a choice. Do you want peace or not? And then we have patchouli. Earthly. Trigger statement, I hate my body. True statement, my body is a temple. Remember that you are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. Revere your loyal, sacred body. Yeah. Again, like I said, with having sex with individuals that they drain your energy. When you're having sex with people that are not healthy for you, or there's only supposed to be in your life for a season, you don't even, you probably know, but you don't even realize how draining that can be. And you also through sex, you take on certain traits from that other individual. And that could be, again, speaking from experience, it could be self-doubt, it could be insecure thoughts, it could be all this shit, and you're taking on their energy, and that's meshing in with your own trauma that's not healed. It's mixing in with your own wounds. So it's like you're at like with the Nine of Keys, it's like you're building up. It's just like it's too much. With the karmic trends, it's like you're plowing through the shit that you don't even need to plow through. That sounded very sexual, but anyway, spearmint. Conviction. Trigger statement, no one listens to me. True statement, my voice is heard. Stand strong and communicate your message. The world is ready to receive what you have to share. Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly, but again, you have to find balance, because I think, again, everything is going to move smoothly within your life once you're able to find balance, and then you can actually build what you want to build, and it's not going to feel so demanding and stressful. It's like, if you're doing something that you love, it shouldn't have to feel that way. But again, I think it just feels that way because you're giving your energy to the wrong things. Because it's like, I strongly believe that, you can have a healthy relationship, whether that be romantic or platonic. But again, if they're draining your energy and not helping you to replenish it, then that's keeping you from where you want to be. Because I feel like you have a lot to share with the world, whatever your skills and talents are. But again, you have to get out of this mind state that it's going to be hard, or if I get into this relationship or partnership, that it's going to take away from what I need. And again, pay attention to what you need, and it feels like what you need is something that's going to be very flexible. It's so awesome when you have those friends that when you go kind of hide out and kind of be by yourself, and then you meet up with them again, and it's like it never happened, like you never took that break. It's like you kind of start from where you left off with that person. Like I love those friendships, and I feel like you need more people like that, you know. And again, now that you're aware of it, I believe that the next time that you kind of step out into the world after you take time to rest, you're gonna know who is going to be able to be that for you. Because I feel like whenever there's people who are constantly like, they need to be in your face 24/7, it's like, ugh. You know, so it's just like, it's, and I feel like you can, so it's like now you know what you need, or now you're going to take the time to figure out what that is. And again, I strongly suggest therapy, since there are a lot of scales kind of displayed in this spread. Because therapy is going to tell you how to heal in the best way possible that's going to be healthy for you. But again, you gotta make that choice. Do you want to improve? Do you want to evolve? And I tell you, therapy like literally saved my life. Not like, no cap. So I strongly recommend it for everybody. So if you're just feeling stuck, if you're feeling stagnant, and you're not able to, just like you feel like you're drowning, ask for help. Ask for what you need. Stay present. Treat your body as if it's sacred, because it is. Don't allow these people to drain your energy that don't deserve your time. They don't realize how special you are, but they're trying to drag you down for whatever reason, for their own insecurities and shit like that. And you deserve better. You don't need to be hanging on to that fucking energy. I always recommend taking spiritual baths. That's something that I really enjoy. Water is just very cleansing. Again, take some time to rest. Do some spa-like activities for yourself. Pamper yourself, because you deserve it. And I think when you do that, and you might even cry, which is very healing as well. Take notes as to, you know, what emotions are coming up, how you feel. Examine what thoughts need to be let go, what mindsets need to be let go, and how you can kind of restructure this more. You can restructure and nurture this more positive aspect of your ego. And if there's someone that you're actually interested in, give them a chance, because you might be really fucking surprised. And stop fucking with these karmics, man. I've been there, and ugh. Ain't doing that shit again. So pile 3, I'm wishing you all the best. I'm wishing you nothing but love, growth, compassion, all of it, you know. And definitely comment down below, you know, what you've been dealing with and how this message kind of helped you, or point certain things out about yourself that you weren't sure about, because tarot is going to tell you what you already know. Point blank, period. So you probably already know this, but I probably just clarified some shit for you. Clarity. Hey. So good luck. Mwah. Wishing you all the best. Have a good one. Have a good life, month, week, year, whatever. Peace.